boosting too early. It's a little bit more successful. Quick. The boost curve is linear. Yeah. Right, so it's time to take the twin turbo bobber for its first ride. So, is it going to work? Oh, I'm pretty sure it's going to boost, but is it going to lag? Is it going to boost too early and run out of puff? Or is it going to boost and just keep going? And is it just going to keep going until it goes bang? Well, there's probably a good chance of that. The turbos are more likely to go bang before the engine, I reckon, because they are pretty small. But stay tuned and we're going to find out. And hopefully at the end of the video, I'll be taking it for a good run. I'm going to be using my seat of the pants dyno for this, and it's calibrated pretty well right now. Right, I'm just about to go for the first spin. I've got my data logger with me, and it might not even get up the road. I highly expect it won't, because there's quite a bit of tuning I've got to do with the initial tipping, because it's blowing that much air in at the moment. But hopefully that'll be alright, and I'll be able to see or get a better idea of how well this is going to work, or not. Right, I've got this camera set up here as a bit of a data logger to see what's going to go on with the gauges and stuff. I've got this camera so you guys can see what I'm doing, and we're going to go for a spin. It's a lot quieter. It's a great view from here. Well, I got a lot further than I thought I'd get. It's not ticking over now. Yeah, as soon as I try and open the throttle, I think it's boosting too much. It's boosting too early. Well, that's a bit more successful than I thought that was going to be, actually. Right, let's try this with the load tables turned on. I had them turned off before. That's so much better. Well, it's a little bit more successful each time. That's what tuning's about. You just got to creep up on these things. Right, I'll just give it about, not enough, 10% more fuel in the load tables. So much better. Quick. It goes alright. Just got to sort this idle and out. Because that's really getting on my nerves. I think this is going to work, man. Well, I just added a bit of time in and that sorted out the idle problem and the stalling. But I've got a real lean, sort of flat bit on acceleration now I didn't have before. It's got nothing to do with the timing because it's not in the same part of the map, but that there. But I did alter the mixture actually. So what I need to do is go back to the map I knew was riding quite well. I've been modifying these maps and then saving them at different names all the time. So I'll go back to the map where I had it running nicely and I will add a bit of time in to sort the idle out and then we'll take it from there. Oh, you fell off then. That lean spot got me. That was scary. Thing. As it happens, the trouble I had with the idle and it cutting out was the actual load tables. I was making fuel adjustments on the load tables for low RPM and light throttle. And there's two different tables, one for each cylinder. And what I was doing, I was modifying one table, but I forgot to copy the table over and paste it onto the second cylinder. So both the cylinders were conflicting, doing different things, so the ECU didn't know what to do. And that's why it was doing that. Well, that's better. Much better. Typical, now breaking down on this fire. Yeah, I reckon I failed a plug because it's very rich. Well, it's actually going quite well now. It's a little bit on the lean side. Right, let's give it a go on the highway. I've got this camera here to film my wastegate, to make sure that's opening and seeing when that does it. Right, hopefully we can give it some now. Truck. That's so good! Still a little bit of detonation. I need to sort that out. I've given it a bit more fuel top end and taken some timing out. It's only got 22 degrees of timing up the top end right now because it was pinging a little bit, but it responded well last time to me taking timing out. With a boost, with a turbo engine, sometimes actually taking timing out helps with boost because the exhaust temperatures are higher. So I'm taking this opportunity this time in the evening. It's actually freezing cold because it's winter here now in Australia. It's about 5:30. Hopefully the traffic's died down on a Friday afternoon and I can get a good run up the highway at this time in the evening where I can see my gauges and the AFR gauge and everything okay. And then tomorrow, Saturday, you'll take it for a longer run out on some nice roads and stuff. I don't think it likes the cold air going into these turbos. Like under these like cruising conditions, it's jibbing all over the place. I might have to make some sort of air filters which like I've got a bend in the tube so I'm not just drawing the air straight, like I haven't got ram air into the front of the turbos. I think that's what's happening there on the highway, but I'm really pleased with how it's going and that it is actually pulling hard on higher RPMs and stuff like that. I haven't really let it rev out yet. It's still pulling hard when I'm letting off the throttle and changing gear, because I was a little bit worried that the size of the turbos and the exhaust manifold and stuff are going to restrict it, but that's really not the case at all, because I'm confident this is now faster. It's got way more torque lower down than the supercharger. Right, so this is the boost curve from my seat of the pants dyno. So along here you've got RPM and here you've got boost. Right, with the supercharger, the boost curve is linear. It's fixed to the pulley and the belt, so depending on engine speed is how much boost you get. It's fixed. So the boost curve looks like this. Just goes up there. But with the turbo, it's governed by the exhaust gas. And with the way my bike's running at the moment, it boosts, let's say this is like 7,000 RPM, this is like 2,000. At the moment, mine, it boosts up like this, gets to 5 psi, revs go up a bit, carries on going up to 10 psi, and then all the way to 12 psi. So you're gaining power in this area here. All that is acceleration. It may not have much more peak power, but you've got all this torque way down low, which makes it accelerate quicker. The reason my seat of the pants dyno works so well is because I grew up working on cars with carburetors and distributors and contact sensors and ignition breakers and stuff. Nowadays, people don't really get to experience what an engine feels like when it's pinking, when you've got pre-ignition and detonation, or when electrical things are breaking down and stuff like that, because everything's controlled by the ECU and it normally catches it and controls it before you can feel it. But I grew up with carburetors, so tuning on the fly, just driving, was quite a common thing. That is one of the main problems with tuning this Triumph. It doesn't have a knock sensor, so you can't really have a look at a data log or anything and see if it's detonating or not. You've just got to actually listen to it, and I have been out on it and I have been able to hear it, so I've been able to make adjustments when that happens. But it is a long, tedious process. Even when you're on a dyno, it's a long, tedious process, especially when you have to flash the ECU. When you've got a standalone ECU and you can make adjustments on the fly, it's a lot quicker, but it's still tedious. That's why you don't see a lot of this sort of thing on channels, because it's pretty boring to film it all. There's so much footage I've cut out, so I'm not sure how much you're going to see in this video. But I do intend to do a longer video where I show you exactly what I'm doing with Tune ECU. So I've been tuning idle, light acceleration, under load and mid-range acceleration, top end acceleration, which I've still got a little bit more work to do. But there is another area of the map which needs sorting out. That's my neighbour's favourite. That's when it's doing a burnout, high RPM and low load. I'm taking it to Willowbank in a couple of weeks, but I don't really want to mess around using track time, wondering if it's going to burn out or not. So we're going to do that beforehand.
It's so responsive when you wind it up. That's pretty good. It hasn't lost anything top end. Here we go again.
Right, what I've done now is I've disconnected my O2 sensors and I've turned off the load tables. So it's running purely off the fuel tables, and that stopped my cutting out issue. Because once it goes under boost and I've give it some for a little bit, then it starts cutting out and playing up, because I think the map sensor's losing its mind. So I've turned all of that off and it's a lot better now. Right, so that other bit of the map I mentioned, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put my helmet on because you can't be too careful. Well, it's actually because it's got my camera on it, so I can film my gauges and stuff like that. Actually burns out really well. Does want a little bit of tuning. It's well, it's not missing, but it's not very smooth, but it's going to be all right. Right, that's that then. It spools up straight away, maybe a little bit too quick, and it carries on with the power all the way to the top end. I think it's definitely got a lot more torque and a lot more power down low. I don't know if it's got any more peak power. I think it actually has. It does scare me a little more than it did before. So we're getting to the drag strip in a couple of weeks to find all that out. So in conclusion, it works and I'm really pleased with it. It's actually working a lot better than I thought it would. And I suppose I'm going to have to get it on dyno. Let me know what you reckon about that in the comments. And stay tuned to see what goes on. So like, subscribe, share, comment and all that good stuff. Have a great day. I'll watch another video, maybe this one.